Hello and welcome to the return of Big Finish fans. In tonight's episode we'll be covering much news from the past months we've been off air, so some big news with the new series, Torchwood, Unit, and some of the releases like Bloke and Doctor's Trilogy and the Triumph for Sutek. Those are some of the stuff we'll be covering. So let's go and see what we've got on tonight's Big Finish fans.
Hello, TG Productions here, all back in action.
Hello, Sir here, and yes, we're back again. Woohoo!
Hello, TileSky123 here, and as has been said thrice before, we are back.
Right, so what should we start with then to kick off this return?
Well, probably the biggest news of the...
Yeah.
Or should we build up to that and start with Torchwood and then Unit and then work our way up to the new series?
Alright.
I think that'd be a good way to do it. So should we start off with Torchwood? I don't really have much to say about this.
We all know your opinions.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go next. Well, to be honest, I'm not... Ben, it's already looking at you because I keep echoing on your computer.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Torchwood. It's not one of my... Well, it's not really a series I really enjoy too much, but I know other people will be praising this in news. It is absolutely brilliant news for some, and it will intrigue a new audience of listeners to Big Finish, especially the new series are fans to Big Finish, because some of them haven't even touched the Big Finish release. But the news, it doesn't really intrigue me the most out of everything. But it is interesting seeing Captain Jack and then who's the other character's return? I completely forgot who it was.
Ianto or something?
Yeah, Yanto, that's it. And his second story, Fall to Earth, has been confirmed, so that's good news. I remember him being a good character. Yeah, it's good news. Again, doesn't intrigue me the most out of everything else. Torchwood isn't one of my favourite things in the world, but it is good news, I would say.
I'll go quickly, my thoughts aren't that in-depth. Basically just say, fairly neutral, to be honest. I mean, it's good for those who like the series. I'm not that fond of it, so yeah, probably won't pick any of them up. Might pick up the first one just to see how it is. It's going to be a bit like the Companion Chronicles, I think, in a way. It does seem to have narration in it from the point of view of Jack and whatnot. So, yeah.
Most likely stop.
Like
Sorry,
that.
I always do that. I always cut people off.
That's fine.
Yeah, I was going to say it's mostly going to start with character-based things, so nothing too serious at the moment. But they might go full cast later down the line. They're just not going serious at the start of it.
I thought they were already cast because there are some of the cast members of Captain Jack's story been announced.
Yeah. But I think there was a podcast, Big Finish podcast, where they showed a clip of it, and it was basically Captain Jack sort of like narrating a bit, and then it was an actual bit of full cast dialogue. So I think it's a mix of the two.
Yeah, well, I think it's in the same Companion Chronicles, because there's some bits where the companions do actually raise.
So it's sort of like the early adventures.
I think so, yeah.
I guess it's told from the character's point of view.
Yeah, exactly. So there's still other actors involved. It's just a limited number compared to the broadcast version.
Alright, Kai, your mic's a little low.
Hello, is it working? Is it working now? Hello?
It's still quite quiet.
Should I roll my voice like this?
That works.
That's much better.
Okay, I think I'll just keep my voice quite high in general. Keep a high volume, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I suppose I better go ahead and give my opinion then. I'm really glad that they're doing Torchwood on audio. Sorry, I'm sorry for the fact I can hear my own voice, I don't like it.
Echo.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm really glad they're doing Torchwood, and it went out, even though I think I was a bit young to watch it. But oh well, no one cared what I was watching. Yeah, so I think series 2 and 3 is where it picked up, and I think Big Finish naturally would take advantage of probably the best stories that Torchwood can tell, having a brilliant core team of writers on there. I like the idea they're kind of starting off, kind of gradually having one story with narration focusing on each character in the team. So I'm assuming we'll obviously see Owen and Tosh and Gwen as we go through the series. I'm curious who I'm curious who the other audio is going to be, because there's going to be 6 and there's going to be
Probably
5.
Jack again.
Yeah. Jack again. Maybe it might be Jack, or it might be a full cast one, or it might be Susie, or it might be what's his name again, Reese. So we'll see. Yeah, I think the idea is that they're going to start off with one story per character, and then as it kind of builds up and the audience builds up for the broadcast audios. But obviously, it's going to be difficult to do because they're all jobbing actors, but I think they'll still manage to do it somehow. So yes, I'm glad they're going to do it, and they're going to get some regular Big Finish writers in to write some Torchwood stories, and hopefully they'll get Andrew Cartmel to write one, because he was meant to write a story for Torchwood, and since he's written for Big Finish before, it seems more likely than ever. So I'm looking forward to this bright future of Torchwood.
Bright future for a very dark series.
Yeah, exactly. The irony.
We all cover with Torchwood then, are we?
Yeah. So,
So let's move on to the sort of other big thing sort of related to the new series is Unit Extinction, where we've seen the release of a trailer and the casting of some of the new unit team, and of course we've seen the return of Osgood now joining Big Finish's sort of ranks, really. So what do you think of that then?
Oh, I'll start then.
might as well keep it the same order.
Yeah, alright, yeah, that's actually a good idea. Unit Extinction, yeah, it's good. It's nice to have a unit spin-off, as we had we sort of had a unit series of 4 stories, but it didn't really go anywhere else, so it's nice to have a big unit series. So I am looking forward to this with Kate Stewart. Even though with her character in the new series, I'm not really interested too much with her character, but I have to see where the release goes, because I will, of course, pick it up. And Oscar will be in it as well as casting news, which was brand new. Well, not right now, but it was confirmed not too long ago, I think. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It also features the Autons in it as well. They are quite visual, but I think they will have voices in it from Telly Autons, maybe. I'm not sure if they spoke in well, I'm not sure if they had voices in Brave New Town, because I haven't listened to it. They might do or might not, but I can't really answer that.
Yeah, they did speak in Brave New Town.
They do. So
yeah, I do.
You can't really
yeah,
do
and then I'm gonna say to myself, then they are gonna have voices. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Not my most anticipated from 2015. I'll be doing Coalition, but still exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm quite excited for it, I guess. It's not, as Tom said, the most exciting upcoming release for 2015, but nevertheless it is quite intriguing. As for Kate Stewart, I quite like her character. She's probably my favourite female character on Doctor Who at the moment. Not that that's saying much with Peter Capaldi's supporting female cast and whatnot, but nevertheless I think it's quite intriguing. Quite intrigued where they're going to take that whole idea. However, there's one line in the trailer that just, I don't know why, it just kind of makes me cringe, where it's just like, who in unit hasn't. I'm not sure whether it's the delivery or the line itself, but in the trailer, that line just doesn't work for me.
What line was that?
When she asks him, have you heard of the Nestines? And he's just like, who in unit hasn't. I'm not sure why, just not fond of that line.
No, I don't really know what to say to that, but maybe it's just.
I suppose I better go. Yeah, I think after all this other new series related news, I think Unit's now been kind of overshadowed a bit by all this. I mean, I feel like a very fat child who's eaten a whole cake. tweet, and I'm a Doctor Who fan, and I don't know where I'm going to carry this analogy, so I'm going to stop using it. So yes, I liked Big Finish's first unit series. I think it had more of an adult oriented theme to it, but I don't think they're going to carry that over in Unit Extinction. I think it's obviously going to be more new series oriented, so a bit more family friendly in that respect. But I think as long as they have the same kind of strong writing that they did in the first Unit series, I think it's going to be more akin to Unit Dominion in that sense, a kind of epic adventure over one box set with lots of... Excuse me. Sorry about that. With lots of kind of ensemble cast really to tell the story. So yeah, I think that it's going to be more akin to that. Osgood being in the series, kind of predictable to be honest. I kind of expected her to be in it before she was even announced. Sorry, I'm just starting. I've got a cough. Yeah, I think that's all really.
I like that they're using the tentacle style of nesting consciousness rather than the new series style with the weird bubble. I'm not sure how to describe it.
Blob.
A living
Jelly
bubbling
and
blob of hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we covered it.
Yeah, I suppose it was inevitable it would get Osgood. Like Kai said, it's probably going to be in the same style as Unit Dominion, which was a fantastic box set. And I think, is Nick Briggs writing it again?
I don't think he is. No, I think it's
Matt
Andrew
Sifton and Andrew Smith.
Yeah, that's it. So it's
That'd be
going to
quite
say
interesting. Because Andrew Smith's quite a good writer. I do like his sort of writing, what he's done.
He's pretty good.
I mean, Domain of the Void was very good. Mistfall was pretty good. So he's wrote some good stories, so I think it should be quite a good box set, but it's not a box set I'm immediately going to pick up because there are other things in September or October whenever it's out take priority, like for Doctor 6, Doctor's Last Adventure, there's more things what take priority, but it's welcome news, really.
It's good that they're building up their back catalogue of audio, especially new series stuff.
But when you think about it, I think they did a clever move with announcing Unit Tortured, and then we had the big burst of what we're going to go into now with the new series. So I think it was a clever...
Yeah, they were teasing us.
Yeah, and I think if they announced that before, well, if they announced it after, I think we'd be a bit disappointed going, yeah, we saw it coming, really. So I think it was quite nice that we had that build-up, because obviously we go into it now. We've had the announcement of McGann and River Song, which is quite interesting to see how that was going to work, because McGann is the romantic Doctor, so it's going to be interesting, the chemistry between those two characters. The Churchill years, obviously, it's going to be in the companion style, sort of, well, companion chronicles sort of style, and obviously it's nice we've got the new series Doctors into that, so obviously that suspects that the new series Doctors, when they are free in their schedule, that they might possibly join the ranks of the classic Doctors at some point, but whenever that is.
Can I just say, can we applaud Big Finish for all the years of waiting and working on all this stuff?
Well, didn't Moffat sort of push all this sort of through, especially the River Song stuff?
Yeah. Well, I think
Yeah.
they wanted a new series license for a while, and they finally got it, so I think that kind of deserves a bit of praise. So I'm going to...
Apparently, Stephen often tells people, like, after they've left or two or whatever, that they're not done yet, they've still got a Big Finish to come yet, so...
Well, when you think about it, Moffat has craftedly sort of planned Matt Smith's sort of gap so Big Finish can do stuff. We look at Trenzalore and the times he's sort of the impossible astronaut. There's big gaps in the 11th Doctor's life still untouched, I think.
Well, he says that.
Deliberately done that in a way.
says
For
that.
Like the first meeting of the tracks and whatnot. And
I don't think it's a whole plan from the beginning to say, oh, there's going to be gaps in my Doctor's era because I want Big Finish to cover them. I think it was more an afterthought of saying, oh, there's a gap here, Big Finish can do something in that if they wanted. It's more an afterthought rather than an intention.
But still, it's
I think
quite a
actually, I think there's actually a Doctor Who magazine thing where he says that he deliberately put those Big Finish gaps actually. Like on the Ask More Facts section, people sending in questions, and one of them was about that. And I think he did say something like he puts these gaps there.
Yeah, I know he says that, but I don't think it was anything to do with his writing the series at the time. He's going to think, oh,
No.
I have a gap in there. He's just thinking, oh, there's a gap there I've thought of beforehand. I think Big Finish can do something with that if they wanted to one day, rather than intentionally saying, right, this is where Big Finish is going to do stuff there, this is where Big Finish is going to do stuff there, so like that.
Well, that's one of the things I'm not too fond of with Moffat's era, how they've just left these big gaps. Like a 200 years or whatever, quite specific with them, but anyway, veering away from Big Finish now, so
Yeah, and then of course we've had the announcement of Classic Doctor's New Monsters, which has caused a lot of speculation. Where's Tom Baker? But I think Nick Briggs said before that he wants to keep sort of Tom Baker sort of very independent from the other Doctors, especially range-wise. But I'd love to see Tom Baker battle some sort of new series monsters. I think that'd be exciting.
Is what I would say.
Yeah. But that's exciting, having classic Doctors, and I think they've matched the Doctors up well with the new series monsters. I mean, Davison's sort of applies to the new series fans because he's youthful and energetic, so I can see why the Weeping Angels have been picked, because he's a fan favourite, and plus he introduced the new series fans to the classic here with Time Crash. Sixth Doctor and the Jadoon, brilliant. With I can see Colin having a lot of banter with them.
Most stubborn.
Yeah.
It's funny how people say that. You think that
Was that Clive?
people can't put their finger on it and it should do work, but people just think, yeah, that works, but no one can say exactly that.
Well, I think the Jadoon is a law enforcement, and then you think Trial of a Time Lord with the Sixth Doctor, it just instantly clicks with me. The Jadoon being this law enforcement, and then the Sixth Doctor being put on trial again, it just works for some bizarre reason. And Seventh Doctor with the Sycorax, using blood control, McCoy's quite a dark Doctor, and using witchcraft elements, I think McCoy just works with that sort of element of it.
Especially
Agree with
considering,
that all.
we know he deals with things like, in inverted commas, magic, and with these elder gods and stuff like that. So is that kind of mystical side to his dealing with enemies?
Oh, definitely.
and also the Seventh Doctor saying Sycorax with his R's and whatnot, just that bits.
That'll be 10 minutes of the box set just about him saying that one word.
Sycorax.
Imagine if it was the Sycorax working with the gods of Ragnarok.
Oh.
Now I will tell you, Sycorax leader, don't work with the gods of Ragnarok.
God, God.
I can keep that going for a while.
Anybody else want to talk about this?
Oh, I missed the 8th Doctor in your little speech.
Oh yeah, alright, the 8th. Odd choice for Sontarans. I will say the Sontarans, no. I don't really like the Sontarans, well, the new ones. I think it's just going to be quite a light-hearted story, that. Even though it's written by Andrew Smith.
And it's supposed to time war.
That's the only thing what intrigues me about that, but the rest, no, not really.
It's not really new monsters though, is it? It's mainly the time aspect that they're using as a draw for that.
I think that's the only sort of new element, what we can say is new series related.
Well, I don't think the Sontarans in there are going to be more. I think they're going to be more reminiscent of the initial Sontaran two-parter rather than comedy Sontarans.
Hopefully.
No, I think they are. Otherwise, it would be a villain.
No.
That's me done, so whoever wants to go next.
Wait, it's about the classic and new monsters.
Yeah, well, the new series stuff in general, like River Song and that.
Oh. You don't mind muting? Thank you. Yeah, it was a good announcement, I would say. I think Ben said it was a little underwhelming, if that was correct. Well, I wasn't say I was underwhelmed, but there's other announcements that probably intrigued me more. But yeah, still, it's exciting stuff, intrigues a new audience. New series can get a big finish, probably. But the River Song stuff, the Diary of River Song, is the thing that least intrigued me. Began in the final part of that, but no, not really. That doesn't really intrigue me. So maybe put off getting that for a bit. But what's next? Churchill Years, again, a bit like the Companion Chronicles. Yeah, again, not too much I'm really looking forward to in that box set. But Classic Doctor's New Monsters is the thing which intrigues me the most. Weeping Angels, quite difficult to do, but hopefully with the sound design being very superior, as Big Finish always do, they should pull it off, hopefully. Jadoon, Sixth Doctor, again, I think that works great. Seventh Doctor, Sigarax, again, that's great. But yeah, Eighth Doctor and Sontarans, been used many, many times. You could have picked something else, a different time setting as well. But yeah, Classic Doctor's New Monsters is the highest out of that announcement. Oh, and Doom Coalition, I forgot about that. It's a bit odd that they confirmed in that. I think it would have been a little bit more better if it was more of a cliffhanger with the Satanic Mill, maybe. That would really surprise us. That, oh my god, River Song was at the end of the Satanic Mill as a cliffhanger to Doom Coalition 2. You have to see how that plays out. Maybe the Satanic Mill might give us some answers about that, but yeah, overall, right.
That she's going to appear at the end of it, or
what?
Is it actually confirmed that she's appearing at the end of it? Because I've heard that mentioned quite a few times.
At the end of what?
Satanic Mill.
Well, we don't know. So I was just saying if they do.
Okay. Yeah, because I've heard quite a few people mention that, so I was just wondering if it's actually been officially confirmed. But okay, never mind. You can go on now.
Are you done, Tom?
No, I've done. Is there anyone else?
Luke?
Yeah, we're all done, Ben.
Yeah, all done.
Should we go on to releases then?
Yeah.
What release should we start with then? What should we?
Novel adaptations or locum Doctor's trilogy?
Oh.
Wait, hang on. We've missed something really important.
Have we?
Oh, yeah. Should we start that first?
What have we missed?
I'll just
What
say
have we missed?
probably the biggest announcement of the lot. Terrorhawk Series 2.
Oh, how could I forget that? Oh no! Terrorhawk.
It came as a shock and a pleasure to us all, but it's finally happening.
Why is it back? Why did the first box set sell?
I think it's just kind of a rights obligement. They need to say, oh, we need to make a second series, but beyond that, if no one buys it, we're not really making any more.
I think they just did it on pity because they got the Jerry Anderson license and they think, oh, shame to waste this license, so we're making another series of it. I think they just did it out of pity then, probably.
Yeah. Just keep Jamie Anderson happy.
Yeah, and plus he's writing, some Doctor Who story, isn't he, for McCoy and Ace, isn't he?
Yeah.
So we'll keep him on board. He wants a second series of Terrorhawk. So say, oh, make that, and we'll get him writing a Doctor Who and directing some as well.
Oh yeah, because he's directing the new Peter Davison trilogy out in January.
Yeah.
Is that the important news done, Kai, for you?
We didn't mention the Early Adventure Series 2, if you want to quickly...
Oh yeah, sorry, the Early Adventures. What do we make of that then?
Let's go in order.
Do we go first?
What do I think? I think the covers look fantastic.
Tom Webster.
Tom Webster, what can you say, is brilliant. The most exciting one is probably the last one. It's just I'm a big fan of 60s Cybermen, so I think that's going to be exciting. The Forsaken, that's got a wonderful cover, and it sort of reminds you of the Ring Wraiths from Lord of the Rings, the sort of hooded figures on the dragons. It sort of reminds you of those, the Nazguls. But yes, man, that's going to be quite an interesting one, and it's also an interesting one because Yeah, I mean, we've got the new sort of person playing Ben. I'm trying to
Elliot
think
Chapman.
Elliot Chapman. So that's going to be interesting to see how people react to him because obviously people aren't much of a fan of recasting. I think they're all right for companions, but doctors they're a bit iffy about, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think because probably Ben wasn't one of the most memorable of companions. I think yeah, all right.
Well, yeah,
It's not like he's
almost his
asking
ear
the
is missing.
Brigadier or
If they recast, yeah, Susan or and Jamie for whatever reason, they'll probably say, "Oh, don't do that."
Oh, it's like that with Domain of the Void. Susan did Barbara, and that really didn't work.
Mm.
Don't get me started on that.
It really does not work.
Let's not get him started on that. He said.
They were going
same
around.
with Maureen O'Brien and the Dark Planet.
Wasn't she good in that?
I'll listen to that one.
With Barbara, anyway.
Yeah, Maureen O'Brien does. Well, she does an okay job, but I think it just doesn't really. I think recasting her with Gemma Powell was a good idea.
We'll have to wait and see because I'm assuming it's going to be next year when Series 3 of the Early Adventures come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ben, have you finished on your Early Adventures points? Or
Yeah, I'm finished on my early adventuresness.
I'll go next. They all look really good. Absolutely all of them. So I'm excited. It's the second Doctor. Fraser Hines, of course, he do an absolutely fantastic job narrating the second Doctor. He always does a brilliant job, so. Yeah, all of them intrigue me. The Yes Men looks quite interesting by Simon. I can't say his last name properly, so I'll skip
Guerrier.
it. Thank
Simon
you.
Guerrier.
Guerrier. I'll remember that now. Thank you, Kai.
You won't
The next one, The Forsaken, which out of all of them intrigues me the most. It has a war feel to it. Maybe quite similar to No Man's Land, Protect and Survive, just naming some war stories. So
Resistance actually was
What?
a war story of that exact TARDIS crew. Resistance, a companion chronicle, it was a war story of that exact TARDIS crew.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was.
that TARDIS team during the French occupation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, as I was saying, The Forsaken is the one that intrigues me the most. Black Hole looks pretty good as well. It's nice to see Deborah Watling in Big Finish Order. It's been quite a while since her last appearance in Big Finish. She hasn't made too much appearances, just with the Companion Chronicles and one release from the Lost Stories and one release from the Monthly Range I can think on the top of my head, but not too
No,
much.
she wasn't in any of the Lost Story. Oh wait, yeah, she was. Sorry, I was thinking second Doctor one. So yeah, the sixth Doctor power play. Sorry.
Yeah. And it's interesting seeing what's his name? Oh yeah, David Warner narrating. So maybe he might have a purpose in the story. That'd be quite interesting.
Yeah.
And the ISIS network, Cyberman, 60 Cyberman. Nicholas Briggs usually does a good performance, or good writing with the Daleks and the Cybermen as he voices them. So I have faith in all the stories.
I guess I'll go next. I'd say Yes Men looks quite intriguing. The Forsaken, I think, looks quite exciting as well. And I like that they're bringing Ben's father into that as well. That should be quite interesting, expanding on his character a lot more. The Black Hole is probably the most intriguing, I'd say, actually.
Oh, I haven't heard that so far.
Yeah. But some people mention that Rufus Hound looks like a Time Lord on the cover, actually.
He is.
He does.
And that, yeah, that looks very interesting. And then there's the ISOS network, which at first I wasn't that excited about. I thought bit of a 60 Cybermen overload this year. Last of the Cybermen wasn't that good, so that didn't really excite me for it. But then the cover came out, and at first I thought a bit too many colours, but now it's actually really growing on me, I'd say. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that, and I have actually subscribed to that, so there's no turning back now.
Your money is gone.
Accept your fate.
Except your fate.
Okay then, it's me. Well, obviously I'd agree that all the covers look brilliant. I mean, Tom Webster does very sexy Big Finish covers, and I think he used to do all Doctor Who covers ever. I mean, I think he is now. He's doing all main range.
Pretty much all of them, except for the fourth Doctor ones.
I think he's doing all the main range he's doing them for the last few months and maybe for the next couple, so maybe he's going to be a permanent fixture. We can only hope. But yes, the first story, the Yes Men, is being hailed by Annika Wills and Fraser Hines being Simon Guerrier's best script. He can explore more with that, and with that format, having a full cast with him, he can do that better. So I think the Yes Men sounds like a really intriguing story. Likewise, the people said the Forsaken seems like more of a character exploration for the new Ben Jackson, who obviously didn't get much exploration during the series, and using this new full cast actor to play him is a good opportunity to do that. And plus, the cover for that is really creepy. It reminds me very much of World War II propaganda posters, kind of stark black, grey, and red colours. So I think that looks really intriguing. The one that's got me the most interested would have to be Black Hole, though, because from that, I think that sparked the most kind of theory or head scratching from any other release this year. So if you look on the forums, people, as you said, Luke, Rufus Hound looks like a Time Lord. So from that, people are thinking, oh, maybe he is playing a Time Lord, and then they say, oh.
There's also the fact that time's standing still.
Yeah, so it's a really kind of intriguing story in that sense, and people are thinking that maybe this is where the Two Doctors picks up, if you know what I mean, where they say, oh, maybe Victoria will go off and do a bit of graphology while the Time Lords employ the Doctor and Jamie for a bit. So it's kind of really got people's minds racing. And the kind of fact that David Warner's doing the narration for no discernible reason at the moment is also intriguing people. So it seems like a bit of an enigma, that story, that does. And the ISIS network just seems like, yeah, I mean, it sounds like a good story with Nick Briggs trying to make a follow-on from the invasion. So I'm interested to see where that will go, where it will directly lead from the invasion to the ISIS network, which I believe gets a reference in The Last of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
If I'm not,
Yeah,
Jamie mentions the fact they go from London to ISOS, so very
ISOS 2.
interesting there. Nice little bit of foreshadowing. Yep, seems like a very promising second series, and obviously Fraser Hines will be in all of them, playing the Second Doctor to perfection. I doubt not.
Also recommend series season 1, just to put that out there. Good. Buy it.
Yeah, I've heard that's good.
Yeah.
Anything
Even though I'm
else?
not much of a big fan of Fraser Hines' Patrick Troughton impression.
Get out!
No, but I prefer. There's this YouTuber called Chris Thompson. I think
I know,
he does a better Troughton. I think I can see why Big Finish haven't got him because of obviously Fraser doing it, but I prefer that person doing Second Doctor than Fraser Hines personally.
Yeah, Big Finish to say they're happy with Fraser Hines.
Yeah, because he does it out of love of Patrick, doesn't he, Fraser?
I don't think he wants us to work with a different.
It does do a really good sense to get someone who worked with the Second Doctor, Patrick Troughton, rather than just some bloke who can't sound that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, there's the fact that he's more of an impersonator than an actor.
I think he's an actor as well. That person, because it's on his Twitter.
Yeah, he is an actor.
Yeah.
If you see some of his early films, you might disagree with that, but no, that's just me being bitchy.
Yeah.
Just all I can say is today's detectives. That's one of the things you think. Anyway.
Right, releases. We've talked about the early adventures. What release shall we cover? Triumph for Sutek novel adaptations or the Locum Doctors trilogy?
I'd say Locum.
That's Urban Hell.
No, we're not doing Fourth Doctor, sadly, because we're going to save that.
No. We decided we're going to save it.
I'm going to save it for now before we.
No, just Suburban Hell on its own, not the rest.
Pure crap. Let's move on.
End of that. Okay. So should we do Locum then?
Yeah, why not?
All right, we do Locum because I've got some interesting thoughts of Defectors.
No, actually, leave Ben to last. Leave all the rounds.
I'll go last for this.
Yeah. I'll begin. Well, I know Ben's pure hatred for one of them, but anyway, The Defectors is a good story. I enjoyed it. The first half, I really enjoyed. I was just getting into the story, gripped as really gripped to it. It had quite a lot of good mystery to it. When they go into this island, can't remember what the island is, but
Dolphin.
sorry.
Dolphin Isle.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, they're going to this island, and yeah, I love part one's cliffhanger. It just had so much mystery to it, but it just fell so hard to the second half. It just crumbled to death. The story, it just stopped. The plot, it was so weak. And the villains, I hate them. They sound like the Cybermen. They're terrible. They didn't turn out to be a true threat. Waste of a villain. Story died. And no Third Doctor action in it, which really upset Ben. Just that. And it was really, well, we didn't really see the Seventh Doctor like disappear or after that. Something at the end, I can't remember what it was, but something I didn't like about it. But yeah, overall, Defectors wasn't that great, but it's not the worst thing it isn't the worst thing I've ever listened to. So a 7 out of 10 I would give it. But then last, the Cybermen. I didn't like the whole thing, to be honest. I really didn't like it. Part 1, it was okay. Same as part 2. Part 3, it seemed like it was going to go somewhere, but still didn't really enjoy it. And then part 4, no. Apparently everyone praises part 4, but I don't praise it. They had, actually I won't say because there's a certain spoiler, but it just feels like Evil of the Daleks to me, completely. Episode 7, Evil of the Daleks. It just feels exactly the same, copy and pasted, which I absolutely hate.
Oh, you mean that bit where the Doctor says it's the final end?
Yeah, it just sounds so. Oh, I hate it. I just hate it.
So hang on, he does say that because I haven't listened to it, so I just guessed.
Well, you're absolutely right. He does say that in the story.
Wow.
That was a great guess. He says it. It feels an absolute copy and paste. But the only thing I do like about it is it's got a lot of references in it. Dominators, Crusade, Space Pirates. It is featured after the Space Pirates, as it mentions a lot about the Space Pirates, and it feels like it's leading up to the War Games. And some nice references here and there. A Secret One, the Laird of McCrimmon, and a May Doctor Who story it referenced. And yeah, the ISIS network as well. So loads of references. Overall for the story, it fails completely. And the Secret History, I can't really judge, but it's predictable, as you know who the villain is. That's all I'll say about that, but I haven't listened to it full. So that's me.
I guess I'll go next. I'd say the Defectors I thought was an okay start, and sadly enough it did end up being my favourite. Thinking, yeah.
Whoa.
Look at Ben's face, Cross.
That's not saying how good the Defectors is. That's saying how bad the other two are.
Well, yeah, I shall agree with that. Actually, out of the two so far, the Defectors is my favourite. I hope Secret History lives up.
That's
Anyway,
it.
carry on.
Yeah, I'd say the Defectors, the first 2 parts are the stronger half. The second 2 parts I don't hate as much. I think the story does manage to hold itself together. However, once the mystery's gone, it just doesn't work for me as well, I'd say. So yeah, and then Last of Cybermen, oddly enough, the first 3 parts felt just like padding, but strange enough it was enjoyable padding, and then part 4 completely fell apart. I don't know what Alan Barnes was thinking when he wrote part 4, but it just it's hard to say without going into spoilers really, but
I
yeah,
know it is.
It's a very disappointing final part to a uneventful story for the most part. Colin Baker, Fraser Hines and Wendy Pappery are a wonderful TARDIS team. They work very well together. But other than that, there's not really that much exciting going on there. And then the Secret History. I think the first 2 parts are quite good, quite intriguing. I like the historical aspects to it. But it's not really a pure historical in any way, even without sort of like the what's going on, the explanation to the Locum Doctors trilogy. There is still other sci-fi elements in there as well. But yeah, I think, and then during the second 2 parts, it just all falls apart once again, really. Yeah, I think that's all I'll really say about that. It's an
What about your
intriguing.
rating?
I'm not sure about ratings, to be honest. I'll probably save them for my reviews. Yeah, I would say
To be mixed,
ranking
even though I
wise,
haven't heard.
it'd be. Oh, sorry.
No, if you're going to finish off, I was just
Oh,
going to
sorry.
say.
Yeah, I'll just say ranking wise, it would go to Defectors, Secret History, and then last to the Cybermen. Yeah, off you go.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say I haven't listened to any of them in their entirety, so I can't really judge many of them based on a story. I don't really know much about the Defectors apart from the fact that it's set on an island, and most people in this panel rip the piss out of it. You know, for the fact that it's a bit slow and a bit dull. So, don't really know what I'd make of that. Otherwise, I think it's a very interesting idea to do, to transplant doctors from their stories that they would normally have and put new doctors in there and basically say, well, is this character the same on his incarnation? How would this incarnation deal with it compared to this incarnation? Concept of the Lotus is really intriguing, which I think everyone would agree with, even if a few people think the execution isn't. The Last of the Cybermen, from the title, I think you can tell it's going to be very reminiscent of basically a Cyberman version of the Evil of the Daleks, and that guess about the final end of the Cybermen. Well, the Sixth Doctor knows it's not the final end because he knows they keep coming back, so he can't really say that, can he? It's the final end. Well, not really. I'll meet them again in my fourth incarnation when they come back, being really camp, putting their hands on their hips, and have a really crap voice with a really crap plan. So yes, but obviously he wouldn't say that because that's very metafictional.
Mm.
So yeah, the covers look nice, I suppose.
That's the only thing nice about them. Well done, Tom Webster.
Well, what about the Okay, I'll just ask. What about the interaction between the sets of companions with their new doctors? This is a question now for the ones who listen to it.
That works pretty well.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best part of them.
Yeah, again, different way of exploring the characters' interactions with these new doctors, how it would work out. And the Secret History, that's the only one I've heard a bit of. I've heard part one when it was released for free, and obviously it gave away who the villain would be and essentially what the whole plan would be in that first episode. And I kind of know what the monk and what the villains are. Shit. I'm bugging it up. Well, it's on the sodding cover, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it is true.
Anyway, you probably know by now. If you don't know, you've had your head under the ground for about 5 months. There. But yeah, from the first episode, it seemed like an intriguing story, but a bit of a homage to a Hartnell historical, with companions and the Doctor travelling for months between places, staying there for a bit longer than rather than 45 minutes, then pissing off. And it sounds like an interesting idea, an interesting story by Eddie Robson, but obviously I can't account for that. So, from an outsider looking in, it sounds like a good series of stories, but apparently it's not as well praised as you might expect.
I think the Secret History had the potential to be the best of them if it didn't have to tie up the whole plot thread and whatnot. I think the historical angle itself and whatnot, I think that could have actually worked out to be a good story if it didn't have to tie up everything that happens and explain it all. So if it was a bit more like the Defectors and Last of the Cybermen where they didn't have to explain it, I think it would have probably been the best of the bunch. But unfortunately, it did have to explain it, so...
Best to last.
I'm going to start with a positive, and I'm going to say the idea of it, the concept bringing, the first 3 companions from each Doctor into the main range is a good idea, because I feel like Joe Grant is very much underused because obviously not having many of the unit family around now. So I like the idea of it, but I think the writers they chose for the actual trilogy aren't exactly the writers you would think. Basically, I think Nick Briggs, you could think, John Dorney and Jonathan Morris, I think, would have been a better bunch for these stories. So I think we could have had a lot better writers for this trilogy, but we didn't get that, sadly. Defectors, no, I can't think of anything positive about it, really. I mean, look at the monster in it. It doesn't say much about the story, does it? This weird crab thing with a weird head with wings. Yeah, the only thing good about it is McCoy and Manning. That's the only good thing I can think about it, really. It does have that 70s feel, but I feel like it lacks something. It lacks... I don't know, I think maybe because Pertwee's such a big thing of unit and not having him there, it just seems to flop. But I've always said that McCoy should have been earlier. I think McCoy would have worked a lot better in the 70s, and this sort of does test that theory. I think, yeah, he would have worked a lot better in time, but this story doesn't prove anything. It's just rubbish, really. Last of the Cybermen. Is it better than Legend of the Cybermen? Yeah, I prefer Last of the Cybermen to Legend, mainly because of Lanky. Lanky's very good. I was going to mention Lanky, the Yorkshire Cyberman. What do you want? Part 3 is... There we are. Part 3 is my personal favourite because I think that's where the action sort of happens. But Part 4 does seem a bit random that they suddenly go to a place, they change location just for the last half an hour of the story. With Cybermen, I don't feel...
how they got there.
Yeah.
I think I know how they got there, but I can't remember.
Can't really talk about it without spoilers though, so...
Yeah, but I can't really mention it. They get there somehow. Just get there. Anyway, talk about Lanky again, Ben.
Yeah, Lanky. He's the best thing about this, really. But in all seriousness, it's nice to have Colin and Jamie back. I think they work brilliantly because I did enjoy the Jamie and Sixth Doctor trilogy back. You know, in
Jamie in inverted commas.
Yeah, definitely inverted commas. Definitely.
First the monk, now this.
We're not giving away exactly
for everyone.
We're just saying Jamie in inverted could mean anything.
It could, yeah.
Despite the fact that I mean it.
Yeah.
The fact that it's fictional. Oops.
But I feel the Cybermen aren't used to their full potential in this. I think they're hyped up a lot, but they don't do a great deal. My personal opinion on it. But I have to say, it's my favourite out of the bunch. This is my favourite out of the Locum Doctors. Just because of Lanky, I suppose, really.
10 out of 10, secretly.
No, I wouldn't rate it a 10. I'd rate it a 7.5. That is the highest this trilogy goes for me.
How would you rate Lanky's character?
I'd rank Lanky a 6.
Well, it's to be honest.
He's better than Clara. Anyway, that's a different matter.
Leave that in the box.
And how would you like a spin-off series with Rusty, Lanky, and Bobby Baker?
Oh, he would fit in perfectly.
Oh, Bobby Baker would do well with Lanky. That would just be the greatest.
I have to say, he would fit in with that bunch brilliantly, and I can see new series fans just hugging him, Lanky, because he's got that lovability.
I'm writing that.
Yes, I'm writing that too. It'll be available on Tumblr in the fanfiction section.
It'll get mixed up with all the shows.
It probably will. Secret History. I have to say, I really like the first disc. When the floating heads come involved, I lose interest with it. It's good. Davison's pretty good. It sort of reminds me of Terra Firma and Name of the Doctor, in a sense, what the monk does to the Doctor.
In a good way?
Well, you know my thoughts on Terra Firma.
No, leave that. No, please.
I remember!
But still, it's a good story. It's a nice way to round off the trilogy, but this trilogy could have been so much more, and sadly, we didn't get that.
Looked well on paper, but just didn't deliver.
Yeah, it didn't deliver anything. I mean, I'll probably review these in depth at some point, but for now, I have no plans to review these in a hurry because they're nothing special. So there we go.
I think maybe the trilogy could have worked a bit more if it was, well, the idea behind the Doctor with classic companions could have worked a bit better if it was like one whole trilogy for each. Or
Yeah,
not
that
I
was
just
well.
think they should have. I think they should have just picked better writers. They just weren't great writers. Alan Barnes and Eddie Robson are rather mixed. Just don't deliver a lot.
I mean, Eddie Robson hasn't. I don't quote me if I'm wrong on this, but I think Eddie Robson hasn't wrote, a monthly range story in quite a while.
He
So
did.
to
He
have him
wrote.
suddenly do a monthly range out of the blue to celebrate
He
200.
wrote Fanfare for the Common Men in.
Oh,
So
did he?
2013.
Yeah, so 2 years really.
Mm.
Yeah, the writers sort of baffle me. Nick Briggs is the only one I can see what fits in, but he could have done better. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, throw in Johnny and John.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. John Dorney and Jonathan Morris, but then Jonathan Morris was writing, We Are the Daleks and the Entry Plague, so I can see how that might have clashed with the Locum Doctors.
Yeah, right.
Well, Johnny Morris is knocking out about 7 stories, it seems, a year.
Why
He
not
just says,
more?
he just says, "Oh, do you want to make a big finish script?" I said, "Yes, I'll do it next week." and they come out brilliant all the time.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I'll just knock one out next week. In a good way.
That sounds really wrong.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm only here knocked out about 4 a year, and it's really good.
well, it's quality, not quantity, in the end of the day.
Yeah. That sounds very seductive.
Oh yes. Well, not like you, Kai, knocking them out every day. Really.
Yeah.
What about quality in quantity?
Well, that's Jonathan Morris, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
That sums him up.
Yeah. The quality of knocking them out, not the quantity of knocking out. Okay, let's move away from that.
Go
I think
on.
that's best.
Let's move on.
Right, what should we cover now? Triumph or novel adaptations?
I think leave Trump for last.
Okay, we do novel adaptions then, shall we? Who wants to go first and talk about the novel adaptions too?
Did we ever cover number 1?
We never covered number 1 because of some bizarre reasons. I think we were going to do an overview of the novel adaptions. Yeah, because that was going to be Big Finish Fans 5, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was going to be May, but it just never happened.
Yeah, I sort of got lazy with YouTube.
You got lazy.
I did. Sorry. That's a whole different video me explaining that, really.
Yeah. Sorry, I can put on mute.
Okay, I'll go on mute.
Thank you. Well, the novel adaptions have been, for this year, been quite good. But however, for number 1, honestly, I don't think it's a really good release. It's a good release, but don't get me wrong, but it's not brilliant. The Romance of Crime, I don't find it brilliant as people make it out to be. The first half was brilliant, I really enjoyed it. Then somehow, when it got to the second half, I was thinking, what? There's some things I'm not really liking. The Ogrons weren't used to their full potential, but in the book they were used to their full potential. I was saying, why would you get rid of that? Because they were brilliant in the book, from what I remember. But in the adaptation, they just really used them as the background, pretty much. They had some good comedy, nothing serious. The villain was pretty much being mocked by other characters, which I hated. Made the villain just look very weak, in my opinion, and that's not great. And then part 4, I found that's a mess, in my opinion. I did rate that a 7.5 in my review, but probably now I give it a 7 out of 10. So that's been changed. English Way of Death's funny. That's a good story, enjoyable. I rated that a 9. I'll probably give that an 8 now. Still an enjoyable story, quite funny. Dark comedy, I would say. It's quite good. And I'm not going to rate Damaged Goods and The Well-Mannered War, because I'm reviewing that soon. But Well-Mannered War, I say I've always loved it, and of course it would deliver. And just to let you know, they did use that cliffhanger. If you're wondering on the book, they did use it. Maybe it'll get explained from Tom Baker Adventures, but we won't go anywhere near in that. But Damaged Goods, I don't get all this 10 out of 10 business. I don't think it is a 10 out of 10 story. It's good, but not 10 out of 10. I'll go more in depth in a review coming up. Yeah, novel adaptations have been good. Don't be shy.
Luke.
Romance of Crime I quite enjoyed. I haven't actually read the book for any of these, which is probably why I enjoyed them a bit more than Tom did, because not as many pre-expectations, I guess.
Well, I did read Well Mannered War, and I rate that very high.
Yeah, English Way of Death, probably my least favourite of the three. I haven't listened to Damaged Goods. I've only got the 3 Tom Baker ones. Then Well Mannered War is probably my favourite of them. I think that's very, very interesting story, I will say. Lots of twists and turns in there.
Yeah, the twists are good.
And also it's a very funny story as well, with K9 going for president or whatever it is. What's the actual term for it?
Politician?
I don't know. Kind of like the leader of the planet. I think it's premier, isn't it?
Or the governor.
There is another word. I thought it was
The boss.
I can't think.
Yeah, the big man.
The
That's
Just call him the big dog.
The big cheese.
The big cheese.
He's the big
Just call him the
cheese.
big dog.
yeah. I think there's loads of funny jokes that are had there as well.
Cheolians were good.
Yeah, they were good at this.
That was my first time listening to one on audio. I thought they were good. They're like Sontarans, but not stubborn, if you know what I mean. They're not really stubborn monsters, but they sort of have comedy on them, but still act intimidating at the same time. That's why I quite like them.
Isn't that just Gareth Roberts in general?
Yeah, that is Gareth Roberts in general, yeah. So that's pretty much what he's done with the Cheolians, yeah.
Funnily enough, I'd more compare it to Sunmakers actually than any season 17 story in tone.
Anything else, Luke, about the second one?
No, I think that's pretty much it, really.
Have you listened to Damaged Goods yet?
No.
Are you looking forward to it?
Well, for me, I haven't listened to the first. Looking forward to it, Luke?
Yeah, I guess mildly. I think there's quite a lot of good things said about it. I'm not too fond of like overly dark stories, so I think I'll enjoy it. I don't think I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
It's not as dark as the book. But,
No, the book's really quite dark.
yeah, it's not really dark. It's not like Necromantia or anything near that.
All I'll say is, in this version, the Doctor doesn't snort cocaine.
No, there's no having sex in a taxi.
No, there's no having a hand job somewhere else as well. It's at 9 o'clock, sod off.
Yeah, it is. It's 10 o'clock. We can say what we wish.
Good lord.
Yeah, and I will say what I wish. Anyway, the first novel adaptations, I don't know anything about the stories, apart from it's got, obviously, Tom Baker Award. Likewise, I haven't heard Well Mannered War, although I was aware that the cliffhanger was integrated in the story. I won't say much about it, apart from the fact that Romana catches the Doctor juggling some potatoes, and she smacks him in the face with a wet trout, hits his head off the console, and he regenerates into Dawn French. So that's a cliffhanger.
Brilliant.
Imagine that being the cliffhanger.
That'd be funny.
Good lord.
Flipping
It's still-
odd though.
And it's still better than Time and the Rani.
Yeah, I see that.
But anyway, yeah, I don't.
Belly Smith 11.
Oh, hang on, Damaged Goods.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, you've listened to it. I didn't.
I have. I bought it on its own. So yeah, it is a really good story. Again, I don't think it's 10 worthy, but I really like the kind of 90s feel of it, the kind of Virgin New Adventures feel to it, because obviously it's a Virgin New Adventures adaptation. I like that kind of story based, the kind of connection between two subplots, one involving an ancient Time Lord weapon bringing a drug dealer back to life, and two brothers who have telepathic abilities. So I quite like that bringing together, and obviously it's got Russell T Davies's exploration of character that only he has ever done, and no other writer has ever explored characters before. Because no one else can write characters with feelings.
Stephen Moffat once said that he brought genuine emotion to Doctor Who. Genuine emotion was not around before Russell T Davies.
No. Well, emotion, it's just there wasn't as much. It wasn't as important to Doctor Who as it was in the new series, because obviously modern TV needs good characters apparently, whereas Doctor Who was more an adventure of the week show back in the original run. But I digress. So yes, I thought when you said that, I thought, oh, Stephen Moffat was the first to bring character to Doctor Who. I'm thinking, no, he bloody wasn't. Oh, I was the first to bring character. Oh, sorry, Davis. I brought character to the show. Clara. But yes, I think that's me over. I'm done. Just with everything in general, so I'm over.
Okay, the novel adaptations one, Romantic Crime, that was pretty enjoyable, but part 4 was just an absolute mess. Like, John Dorney was like, oh, I've got to wrap all this up in half an hour. It was just rushed. I mean, the Ogrons were very much the comic relief, as Tom said. English Way of Death is probably my favourite out of those. I just enjoyed, K9 being in a basket and the Doctor carrying him round. It's great. Novel adaptations too. Damaged Goods, I have to say I was really looking forward to it, but it didn't really deliver. I was sort of disappointed with it, really. And one thing to note, there are some new series references in Damaged Goods. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yep.
And was it with Time War as well? Oh, spoiler.
Time War.
Time War, yeah.
It's not really much of a spoiler, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not much of a spoiler. Also, the new theme tune. What a brilliant theme tune it is.
Shut up to everyone who hates it. Just shut
I
up.
love it. Howard Carter did a fantastic job of that.
It's a piece of wonderful music. Matthew and James hate it.
Well, they don't know.
They don't know true music, and they should go away. Sorry if
I
it's
don't know why they didn't use it for the New Adventures of Bernie Sanders.
Do you like the soundtrack, Luke? Be very careful how you answer this.
I'd say I prefer the original Sunfox one. I wouldn't say it's bad, but
It's a brilliant piece of music.
Yeah.
Do you just include it in your videos all the time now, just to spite Matthew?
I use it because it's such a good piece of music.
There's
I
a
use
running
it
joke.
for anything.
There's a running joke in the Big Finish podcast about the competition music they use, and how the fact that Joe Lidster doesn't like it, so they just include it all the time. It might be that.
But I think Damaged Goods could have been a bit darker. I would have liked it to have been a bit
It wasn't
darker.
that.
I wanted it to be a bit more darker. I mean, I found it.
Did you want the hand job in the taxi then? That sounds weird.
Not that, sort of dark. I mean, as in violence tone and sort of. It should have been. I would have preferred it a bit more darker in that sense. Because I feel that
they did change one detail with the ending of who survived. So maybe if all those characters who meant to die did die, maybe that might have made it darker. Will that satisfy you, Ben? Killing them all?
Yes, it would. But I found it quite soap-esque, if you know what I mean.
Wow, he's a soap writer.
Yeah, so I found it quite soapy.
Soapy in the taxi.
Hey, that would have been a bit cleaner for the 7th Doctor, I suppose.
No, got the image of a head. Got the image of a head.
That was brilliant. That was.
Oh god. Man and War. Let's go into something great. This is my favourite novel adaptation by far. Tom's on fire in this. I absolutely love Tom Baker in this story, and I have to say it's probably my third favourite Tom Baker adventure Big Finish have done. It's brilliant, and I'm looking forward to season 5 of Tom Baker's Adventures to see where the Romana and the Doctor's relationship go to, and it's great to have, what's his name, Tim? I'm trying to think who's McInnery. He was great to have in there because he's worked with Tom Baker before in Blackadder, so it was great to have those sort of reunited and have him finally do a Big Finish story because he was in Planet of the Ood.
You have a woman's bottom, my lord.
Oh yes, but Well Man in War, fantastic, best novel adaptation by far what they've done, and I hope that they continue that sort of line of story with the upcoming ones in December. So should we go on to Troughton now?
The all-consuming fire.
Yeah, there we are. But that's another Big Finish fans probably.
Yep.
And they'll probably use this theme tune.
Yeah, they'll probably stick with Howard Carter.
And in Theatre of War, they've got Irving Braxiter.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Should we move on to Triumph?
Let's do that.
Let's go and move on to Triumph for Sutek. I'll go last because I don't have much to say about it. So, Tom, do you want to take it away?
Alright, I'll start first. Overall, I think it's a enjoyable box set. I enjoyed it. It's been very mixed. I'm one of the people who likes it, not criticises it. But yeah, the first story is in fact my favourite, Pyramid of Sutek. It's not very plot heavy, but I enjoyed it for what it is. I just found it absolutely fantastically done. The music, everything just went into it so well. It's really well integrated. I absolutely love it. Sutek has some fantastic lines in it. So yeah, I did rate it a 9.5, but the one thing I did want in it is just something in the story was just completely in the background. I wanted it explored a little bit more. So it didn't really do that, unfortunately, but yeah, that's why I gave it a 9.5. I really love that story. It's great.
Do you mean the war?
Vaults of Osiris? Yeah, the war. Yeah, the Vaults of Osiris. That was an enjoyable story by Justin Richards. Again, nothing overly spectacular, but I thought it was a good romp and a run around. It reminds me of the comedy with Invaders from Mars, gangs and bosses and things like that. And yeah, it's a good story. I enjoyed that one. Justin Richards did good. And I think Guy Adams was in that one. He did a lot of the voice acting in a couple of these stories, but I can't remember what his characters are. But anyway, he did good performance.
Random gods, isn't it?
He played a character in Vaults of Osiris, but I can't remember his name.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Guy Adams is the Pat Gorman of Big Finish.
And yeah, he's the one who written Pyramid of Sutek as well. It's good for him. It's a shame that Nev Fountain wasn't back, because he did The Revolution, which I thought was enjoyable. But then he was replaced with Justin Richards. I wish Una McCormack was gone, because I don't find his writing that good. But anyway, I have Horus.
Just lists Guy Adams as a cultist.
Oh, right.
But anyway.
Eye of Horus was enjoyable. Yeah, that was a good one. It reminds me of Eye of the Scorpion a little bit on a better scale, and that was my first Big Finish audio, so it feels like it's in the same time, so I like it for that reason. Sutek again has some great lines. Then we have the Tears of Isis. Fortunately, I'm not really a big fan of it. I think I'll rate it even lower than a 7 out of 10. The resolution's okay. Nothing spectacular. It's not confusing, I would say, but it's not that. It's just a bit flat. Just don't think it's anything. Oh my god, that's brilliant. It's nothing like that. Yeah, the last stories are very good. Una McCormack, he's not that good of a writer. Overall, it's a good box set. 8 out of 10. It's somewhere around there. I would give it.
Did you say he's not a very good writer?
Yeah, he himself. Just don't find him a good writer.
Una
McCormack's a woman.
Is it? Oh, my bad.
Did you not listen?
Thought he was a man.
Did you not listen to the behind the scenes bits?
No, I haven't listened to the behind the scenes.
So, OP taxi for you, Tom.
She was holding her baby during the record.
I am so sorry.
You didn't fucking know it was a woman.
Anyway, let's move on to someone else. Because I did something embarrassing there.
I'd say it's fairly meh box set overall. I think not Triumph of Sutek, Pyramid of Sutek. The first part is fairly strong beginning, trails off a bit towards the end, but other than that, I'd say it's quite good. Vaults of Osiris is probably my favourite part, just because it's a lot of fun, really. I just enjoy Ace and Benny just going round, like doing an Indiana Jones in a way. Yeah, I think that's a lot of fun. And then part 3, what's it called again?
Eye of Horus.
Eye of Horus. That's quite an interesting story, I guess. It's the longest of them all, and I think the length isn't really justified. It could have been a bit shorter, but yeah. And then Tears of Isis is probably my least favourite of them all. It's just rather flat conclusion, and I think it's not a confusing one. It just doesn't make much sense to me. If that makes any sense.
It sounds like a Ben thing, as he said in Mummy. I like it, but I didn't like it. If you remember that, Ben.
It was confusing, but it wasn't confusing.
Oh, the Mummy on the Orient Express thing.
It sounds like what Luke said sounded like identical what you said in the Mummy review.
Oh,
like,
don't worry.
like it.
Oh, we've all done it. We've all
It's
messed up an
confusing, but it's
intro.
not a mess. Or confusing, but it is. Oh, I don't know.
It confuses you. You've got it in your head, but then you say words. What have you done to me? You failed me.
Unregenerate. I don't like it, but I don't like it.
Exactly. It makes sense in your head, but on there, no, nothing.
Damn you, English language. Yeah, I think that's all I've really got to say about the Triumph of Sutek.
Looks like it's my turn. So yes, agreed that Pyramid of Sutek was a good kind of opening to the series. It's got a claustrophobic story and one that's really, even though the whole box set is obviously focused on Benny as the main character, Pyramid of Sutek does that really well, especially with her pseudo companion in this being a robot mummy with the voice of her dead husband. So that's an interesting thing. Something that I noticed in your review, Tom, that I didn't notice before, the fact that Benny monologues a lot or talks to herself a lot. As she did that in the first volume of audios, and she's done that before. So you mentioned that.
Sorry, you cut out.
She works well when she's talking to herself. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So she does a lot of So she does a lot of that in the first one. And
I think it very much fits her character.
Yeah. And she did that in the Lights of Skara because in that one it's very quiet and she's virtually on her own for most of it. But
yeah,
that's another review. But yes, a good start. I didn't really like it when the Seventh Doctor was being villainous because it just sounded very comical. He's saying, "I bring Sutek's gift of death to all."
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
He was a little hard to take in.
I will serve you, Master. Here is your robe. Well, that's obviously for the people who have heard it, that scene where he's passing in the robe, all I could think of, Gabriel Wolf is naked in this scene if they filmed it.
Gabriel Wolf's naked.
But let's not go there. Yes, Vaults of Osiris, I think are good. I think, unlike Ace in the first Benny box set, she isn't as annoying and obnoxious. She works well when the two are just having a bit of a romp together. And a good little tie-in to kind of a siren race at the end of that story. This also opens up a kind of odd thing about the kind of timey-wimey nature of the story, how these sequence of events are viewed differently from different people's perspectives, you know. First story being viewed from a different perspective for the Doctor and Sutek and Benny coming in later. You know what I mean, the kind of whole timey-wiminess that we expect from Moffat.
Yeah, it's told from Benny's point of view.
Yeah, exactly, and I'll get to that more in the last episode. So yeah, the Eye of Horus, my favourite one of the bunch. Definitely a longer, as you said, Luke, and well-explored story, I think, especially with the period of the time. And I quite like the fact that it takes a bit of a liberty with the fact the whole ship they find is an Osiran ship that takes them to a different planet, which I quite like playing with that era of history that we don't know much about. We can say, oh, there are spaceships here, but it's an Osiran one, and this happens, and all this. Ancient Egypt And I got like the whole ancient Egypt setting of the story, and Sutek
That
coming
caught me
in
off
like a
guard
really.
actually when I was listening to it.
You mean the ship?
Yeah, and all the like sci-fi elements that they've sort of like weaved into this thing.
Yeah, I
So
like
like
that.
thinking, is it really a period
Yeah,
thing? So I was thinking maybe there's going to be a twist in there somewhere where it's revealed it's not actually ancient Egypt, but then it was actually ancient Egypt, which
that whole image of the ship, the Egyptian ship in space, kind of puts me in mind of Enlightenment. Actually, with all the ships in space, it made me think of that. Yeah, so I quite like that. And as I was saying, Sutek in this story is kind of like a very enigmatic villain from the distance, manipulating a prince into essentially taking his mother. And there is more to him than just his omnipotent power. He can actually be very menacing. Obviously, Gabriel Wolf does a lot with that, being the badass he is. And Tears of Osiris, I'd agree it's my least favourite of the bunch. A bit more of a kind of understated ending, similar to the end of the first Benny box set. I think it wasn't used as well in this, because he didn't really appear much. He just kind of appeared in a scene and popped off again, and appeared later and just popped off. He didn't really do much apart from kill the odd person, but from the nature of the story, there wasn't that many people to kill. So yeah, it's an odd one, but it does kind of deal with the whole idea of doomsday cults and what happens if a doomsday cult predicts the end of the world and the end of the world actually happens. So it's kind of that kind of quirky British humour of what would people do if the world really did end. So apparently we live in a country house and have... So, as I was mentioning about the whole timey-wimey aspect, it makes absolutely no sense to me.
no.
How exactly can he be defeated by being in this loop? How does this loop start? How exactly did he get from point 4 to point 1 in the story without realizing? It's hard to explain without spoiling the whole thing, but it really does not make any sense how this whole timey-wimey aspect of the plot works. So yeah, a bit of an unsatisfying ending. The box set had more potential they could have used, but I think generally it's okay. It's satisfactory. It explores Sutek really well over 4 stories, and that's all you can really ask. It's satisfactory, but it's not exceptional.
Now, I've only listened to Pyramid of Sutek, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't enjoy it that much. That's partly because I can't really get into the new adventures of Bernice Summerfield. I mean, I've only listened to The Revolution from the first box set because I couldn't really stomach the rest of the box set, but I do intend to listen to the rest of the Sutek box set because of Sutek. Obviously, that's a big selling point. But it is interesting that Sutek did go with Bernice instead of returning into a Doctor Who range. So I think it's a good way to boost up Bernice's sort of range by having Sutek. But what I will say about Pyramids of Sutek is, like you said, McCoy, he could have been so much darker in the story, but he played it for laughs, really, I think. But it's great to have Sutek, and Bernice was brilliant in it. And Ace, yeah, she was alright for what she was in it. But that's all I can really comment on Triumph for Sutek at this moment in time. So that sort of wraps up Big Finish Fans 5, really. I think we've got some questions, which I suppose we'll answer.
There's one I really don't like.
Oh, what's that?
It hurts.
Go on.
What do you think? You've been talking about damaged goods and music. What do you think?
Oh, was it Matthew's comment about the theme? Oh, okay.
Matthew is a work of art.
It's better than Murray Gold, let's just put it that way.
Are we on to comments now?
Yeah, we're going to comments. So we've had some questions from the Train Fan 44. How many are you going to Big Finish Day 7?
I'm going.
I might be.
I want to go, and I'll check if I can.
Hopefully I'm going. I think I probably will end up going.
Yeah, I preferred everything, even though it's very far away.
But it's worth it because you get cheap Big Finish, because like nearly all the CDs are like for a £5, and you just come back with boxes full of Big Finish.
Yeah.
And if they're not for a fiver, you do what Kai did and tell us a bit down to a fiver.
Exactly.
Yeah, Kai, down the prices again.
Yeah,
Yeah, we need
that's-
Kai. Kai, I don't care. We'll give you lifts. You were dropping the prices for us.
The last adventure of the Sixth Doctor, 20 quid or nothing.
Oh, if
Please,
only.
Kai, tell them to put it down to 20 quid.
One day offer because Colin's here.
Yeah, put it for 20 quid, go on, just pop it.
Or take unregenerate for nothing because it's crap.
No,
Regenerate for fun.
no.
I'm doing you a kindness by taking all your unregenerates off you.
I don't think you'll get much on eBay for him.
No.
I thought you paid a fiver for it on eBay myself.
Well, I paid a fiver for it, so it's alright, because I'm willing to pay a fiver for it, but it was worth it in the end.
It all works out.
It still worked out alright. His second question is, would Red Dwarf make a good audio series? I know they're making 2 more television sort of series of Red Dwarf.
I think it would be alright. I think some of the jokes are very visual. I think they can fix them for audio.
They can put the Weeping Angels on audio, they can do anything on audio.
I'll just say, Ben, they come for you. The police are coming for you.
Oh no, it's the
Ben, it's
Bannerman!
Bannerman.
It's the Bannerman! No!
Back.
Oh god!
Pretty lanky.
Their leather out,
It's
with their
lanky
leather
and
outfits
handsome.
and their truncheons.
Lanky in the Bannerman.
Ben,
Oh.
we've got like a word with you, sticking a truncheon on their hands.
It's a taxi all over again. No.
We must never speak of the taxi.
If we're now speaking with the taxi again, that's off air. That's off
The
air.
rule 1 of Taxi Club, don't talk about Taxi Club.
Oh, definitely.
Especially opening now.
Yeah, we're back to Red Dwarf. Yeah, I think it will work, depending if they get the rights for it. But it'd be interesting to see a comedy on audio. That'd be
I
interesting.
think it'd be alright.
I mean, I do like Red Dwarf, so it'd be interesting. It's not a thing I'd probably get, but still it'd be interesting to hear.
If, say, they did a download free, would you feel like giving it a shot?
Well, if they did like a free episode, just to, like a little taste of, then yeah, I'd probably download it to see what it's like, and then go from there. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a big fan like I've watched every episode. I mean, I'll watch it if it's on Dave.
Yeah.
Is that covered then?
Yeah.
And then his final question is, what could the mysterious novel adaptation be?
I've got 2. No, 3.
No, 4.
No,
I go last. I've been first all the time.
Okay. Well, most people have speculated Cold Fusion, the 5th Doctor, and Adric, and the 7th Doctor. That's been the most speculated.
That's the most likely, I think.
Yeah.
some people are saying lung barrow, but I doubt that.
No,
What? I couldn't hear that.
bit controversial, I'd say.
Depends if I count it as canon or not. Lumbarrow.
Well, everybody has their own interpretation of canon, so take of it what you will. Really, that's what I say. If
I think he was
Lumbarrow.
born in a
I
test.
think they should, but this is your decision. You want to class it canon or not?
Yeah, I would like to see Lungbarrow because I think people would get that because the book is.
It would sell like
It would. I think it would sell really well if they did Lungbarrow.
the book's like worth £1,000 anyway.
Well, it's £1,000 on Amazon, which is extortionate.
It would cost less to build a time machine to travel back to the 1990s to buy one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else on the question?
Tom, have you got your theories? Because you had some theories about it.
Oh no. I didn't. Well, there was another one that popped to my mind. It's So Vile Sin. As you know, these two characters from Being of Good. That story leads into So Vile Sin, and it is structured like a six-parter. It's a very thick book.
Yeah.
So I might think it's So Vile Sin.
Yeah, we've discussed that, haven't we? There's also because a companion departs, and maybe they'll give us some chance to expand them before they do So Vile Sin.
So Cold Fusion or So Vile.
What's the 6th Doctor Cyberman story?
Killing
Oh.
Ground.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that
would
was
like
that
to
one.
see that.
They probably do it with the other one turns to light, wouldn't they? They'd probably do both of them together rather than just the one.
Well, they could do the Rani one.
State of change.
Yeah, because now we've got the new Rani. I think that would be quite interesting.
But it's set with Perry before, which wouldn't really work.
It doesn't really matter, to be honest. I mean, they can still do it.
But what about
They could just
set
adapt
piece?
it for Perry after
Yeah.
Widow's Assassin and whatnot. The older Perry.
That would work, I think.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what about set piece, which is technically Ace's last story in the TARDIS?
I couldn't hear that, Carl.
I was thinking maybe it's set piece, which is Ace's last story in the TARDIS, technically.
I think it's another one. Oh no, it won't be that.
I think we've covered the majority of.
I was going to say Lucifer of Oxen. Yeah.
You also said, could it be a new series book? Is that...
I hope it. For some reason, I don't want it to be. I don't think it will be.
Nah, I doubt it'll be new series. Maybe an 8th Doctor one, hopefully.
Body snatchers is what I would want.
Alien bodies.
Yeah.
Definitely not War of the Daleks.
No. That is just continuity mess.
That just fucks with your head.
I would like interference.
That is a mess. It is a mess in the story.
I think it needs a box set in itself to do that.
I think it really needs to be sorted out and we need to adapt it. It's a bit of
But
a
then that
mess.
plays with continuity, doesn't it? Interference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we can spoil it because it's been out for over.
Well, does he want it because of the Pertwee and McGann?
It's
He
He doesn't care if the story's come. He doesn't want to hear Pertwee and McGann.
I just
No,
think
no,
it'd
no,
be an interesting duo.
It is an interesting choice.
Well,
I can see
they
that.
don't actually appear together. They're in two separate strands of the story. One of which involves the Third Doctor getting killed.
Oh, Bevel would not like to see that.
Don't worry, I've read it.
Pertwee will never die in Ben's mind.
He's in there.
History is rewritten.
Yeah, 'cause it's like an alternate timeline, isn't it? From what I remember.
Yeah.
Which is turned back when they destroy Gallifrey for the first time, even though they do it again later in the show.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because the books essentially reflect what happened in the series. They destroy Gallifrey, and then all of a sudden they save Gallifrey because it's tucked away in a pocket universe. Hello. They do it again.
Moffat.
What else do you think it could have
The
been?
original idea
Could it
since
be?
1997.
Luke, do you think it's anything else?
No, I think it's probably either Cold Fusion or Long Barrow or Alison.
Yeah, I think a little bit more Sylvanas. Because the structure of it. I think we're done.
Just have a quick check of the comments and then we'll wrap it up if there aren't any more questions.
Don't bother reading Matthews. Probably just hating about that was good.
Yeah, I'll probably dislike it. I'm joking, Matthew, I won't dislike it. We love you really. We love you really. Just loading that, come on.
Doctor Who's an interesting one.
Oh, go on.
What would I'll read that again. What would you do if Big Finish Productions permanently lost their license?
Cry.
For about 5 minutes.
Crying will be a dark time.
It'll be sad because we won't have Classic Who.
I'd just be looking at my copy of The Light at the End and think,
Wow!
Where did it all go wrong?
Be a terrible dark time. That's what it'll be.
the darkest day, the blackest hour.
Where Big Finish on the one.
The
And
big
our
finish of
channel's
Big
gonna-
Finish.
The Big
Yeah,
Finish
but there'll be no
after.
more big, no Big Finish fans. There'd be nothing for us. Our life will be over.
It would just be Moffat saying, I'm over 2,000 years old. I've made many mistakes, including cancelling Big Finish's license.
And we will burn Moffat for that. Is that all the questions then?
Mistake.
Adam of the Ultimate Whovian says things about Territories, but Thunderbirds at the same time. Was that news that came out? He said, to be honest, I'm glad Big Finish are promoting the Thunderbirds campaign, although that is due to them having Territories license. That's all it is about.
We got a comment from Custerberus the Fibster here. There's what do you guys think of the news of the new confessions of Dorian Gray and beyond?
Whoever sent that question in is a very smart chap.
Well done, Custerberus the Fibster.
Whoever you are.
And you've got a really cool name.
Yeah, he's got a very good one. And Seema has the same profile picture on him as well.
What coincidence.
That's a weird coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
We must have
and the channel's absolutely identical.
I bet some person's probably thinking, who is this Custerberus the Fibster?
Christ, he's copying me.
Because somebody probably fell for it.
I hope he's trying to hang out.
What do you chaps?
Yeah, it's nice to have another series, but Kai's upset that Series 5 is the last one.
I'm not upset. I'm just for a hot Yeah.
Hi, Dorian, go.
He's immortal. Why does he have to die? Anyway, well, obviously, because I sent this in, so I can bring this up myself, if you could tell. Yeah, I'm really, I like the idea that they're doing for Series 4. Sorry, Ben, can you mute? I don't want to hear my voice. Thank you. Yeah, I like the idea for some of the stories in Series 4 on the page for Series 4. I like the fact they're still doing Dorian. He's got a lot of potential to do short stories, especially horror-oriented ones. There's one that I think is inspired by Alan Turing, where Dorian meets a bloke that's basically Alan Turing and the Enigma machine, which I quite like the idea for that. There's a story written by Matt Fitt, in which I'm intrigued to see how that's going to go, because obviously he's written some mixed bag Doctor Who stories. So I've got to see how that goes. It's a shame that they're finishing Dorian Gray after Series 5, but I think it makes sense. They justify it as basically saying they don't want to outstay their welcome. And I can see their point there, because if they stay for more series, they might run out of ideas for stories, and they might kind of become a bit stale. So I think 5 series is a sufficient amount. And if it's as good as Scott Hancock says the ending will be, then I'm looking forward to it very much. And I like the idea for the Christmas specials that are coming out. And we've got David Warner playing a murdering Santa Claus. What more could you want for Christmas?
That's brilliant. Murdering Santa Claus.
Goes ho ho ho, bitch.
That sounds great. Does he really?
You know you want to get it now, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, he is going to play a Santa Claus. It's that David is playing Killer Santa.
That sounds great.
So yes, I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. Any of you guys have opinions on Dorian Gray? Have any of you checked out more since I've last badgered you about the series?
Yeah, I know Kai wants to corrupt everyone to the Dorian side, but yeah, I have listened to that free episode. What's that episode called? You know it, Kai. The first one.
This world, our hell.
Yeah, it's Dorian Gray's a very creepy series. It is. I really like it. I should dive into getting at least that series 1 and 2 box set. I have to get it. I'm not sure I do like the box set itself. It's like really tall and thick. But anyway, I'll still get it, of course. I'm really looking forward to Dorian Gray. I should have explored it a while ago.
You're busy with Dark Shadows, because I've been badgering you about that as well.
You've been badgering me about everything on Doctor Who. Gallifrey, no. Dark Shadows, no. Dorian Gray.
Buy the Omega Factor, why not? I need to get it.
I am buying the Omega Factor. I actually didn't even know they made it come out even earlier. I didn't realise. I thought it was coming out of August, so I missed the pre-order.
Yeah, I thought that was an odd choice. Just all of a sudden, just think, oh, we're gonna bring it out at the end of the month. Okay, fine.
Yeah, so I missed the pre-order.
Well, I think they're still doing.
The signing's going on
Reception.
till
So
August
you can still
31st.
get one.
Oh, can I? All right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, I
get it.
thought it was just for pre-orders.
Nope. Just change it now.
Goody.
Luke, have you checked out any of the aforementioned series? That's not Doctor Who.
No, I'm still stuck with Doctor Who at the moment. Just not got enough money to satisfy my Doctor Who needs, let alone any other needs at the moment.
I love how depressed you sounded then. No, I'm stuck with Doctor Who now.
It's just so boring. Stick with Doctor Who.
A boring bloke in a machine that can go anywhere in the universe. We've seen that lots of times. We can go anywhere, sod that. I want to meet Dorian Gray.
I've been quite adventurous. I've done Survivors, Dark Shadows, like 7. I've been pretty adventurous with the outside of Doctor Who. I think Ben has dived a little bit.
I've dived into Sherlock, with Sherlock Holmes with Nick Briggs.
Ooh,
Still
which
yet
one
to
you got?
listen to the Tangled Skin.
The
Um,
Tangled Scheme.
Yeah, I've still
Yeah,
got to listen to that, and I've downloaded the Speckle Band.
Yeah,
Free.
I downloaded that.
Free.
I think everyone's.
Yeah, it was
it's free, but what are you?
Yeah, it's free.
It's free, sod it.
Get it.
Yeah, but with Sherlock, it was something what intrigued me from Big Finish Day 6, and I want to look into getting more of the Sherlock stuff, even though I haven't listened to it, because I know it's going to be good.
The Tangled Scheme is very good.
I think that and the Holmes and the Ripper is going to be the two strongest ones.
I've heard mixed things about Holmes and the Ripper. I haven't heard him myself.
I've only heard sort of positive stuff about it on the Big Finish listeners, really.
What about the Judgment of Sherlock Holmes, Kai? I know you got that.
Oh, what, sorry?
The Judgment at release.
Oh, yes, I've got that. I listened to it once. I'm not really sure. I listened to it once all the way through. I was a bit underwhelmed, to be honest. But I might listen to it again and see what I think of it. But on initial listening, a bit underwhelmed. But anyway. Any other questions? Suggestions?
All goody.
We all done?
Double check.
And then wrap it up.
Does Adam say Sutek really loud?
Oh, we love Sutek.
Yeah. And then Toby Smith, what happens to people if you're in Spanish?
What happened to me?
Yeah.
I got lazy and I just had no motivation to do it, and
That's why he's been off for 3 months.
Well, I think it's longer than 3 months actually. Yeah, about 4 months I've been off.
Oh, Ben. Miss you.
No, scandalous. I'm sorry, you loyal subscribers, but hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll be back to normal. I mean, the thing is, I don't think reviews are going to be every week. It's going to be, every so often. So
Reviews are why you have to get the most out.
yeah, I mean, it takes at least half a day for me to do a review, and that's just me.
It's like a collection of things. It's just completely easy to do.
I might do a Big Finish collection because I haven't done it since January and it's got bigger.
I'll just shut snap.
So I might do that. That might be the next video. I might do.
Yeah, that should be easy. Just have to name the release and that's it.
Well, it's just pull it out, put it back in. It's easy. That sounds really wrong.
Yeah.
It's the taxi all over again. Oh,
Is that what you do with the Bannerman? In a taxi?
It is what I do with the Bannerman in a taxi. But hey, you've got to pay for the Big Finish, so it's worth it in the end, I suppose.
Ooh, static.
Okay, we're all
I don't know what
done.
that means.
That's
So
almost
that's what
reaching
happened.
11.
That's what happened. So do you want to do your plugins and then we'll do our goodbyes and then we'll see you for another whenever we do the next one, really?
Plugin sounds weird as well.
Fine. Alright. Promote. That's better. That's better.
Let's go in order.
Yeah, good in order. And Tom?
Oh, right, promoting. Oh, yes, if you love, good old snazzy Doctor Who content, Big Finish, DVDs, top 10 showcases, all that good old stuff, then check out my channel if you haven't already. But yeah, what's coming up? Can't even remember my own scheduling list.
Suburban Hell Review.
Hmm?
Suburban Hell Review.
Oh, yes. Pretty much already stated my opinion on that. But yeah, more angriness will be in that
After it's
review.
on Regenerate Review.
And, oh yeah, novel adaptations. I didn't really say too much on Damaged Goods and Well-Mannered War, but I'll be reviewing that. Yeah, pretty much all CD reviews. And that Black and White TARDIS arc I'll be reviewing. Oh, and an overview of the novel adaptations. That's Love and War, all the way to Well-Mannered War, Damaged Goods, like Classics, Season 1 is the novel adaptations. I'll be overviewing all of them, ranking them to worst to best. And yeah, that's pretty much what's happening on mine at the moment.
Shall I go next?
Mhm.
Yeah, well, basically on mine it's going to be mainly DVD reviews and CD reviews, sort of like alternating between the two. And also I've got Big Finish week next week, which is basically just every day me and another YouTuber will be teaming up and tackling a different Big Finish Doctor from 4 to 8. So yeah, that's basically all I've got to say about that.
I'll say mine. I'll just gotta sneeze first.
Such a calm sneeze.
No, hang on. Okay. Well, I haven't really got much to say because the reason I've been fairly inactive recently is because I can't record videos at the moment because my computer doesn't work in the same way. I started to record my review for the first episode of Gallifrey, my long-awaited series. When I played it back, the sound didn't work, and I've got it since, and I can't record any videos. So, for the foreseeable future, nothing is going to be happening on my channel. Please still subscribe though. And wait
Subscribe anyway.
Yeah, subscribe anyway. I mean, I did
I'm
have a whole
making
bunch of
nothing, but
reviews
why
planned.
not subscribe?
Exactly. Most YouTubers do that anyway. I did have a series of reviews planned. I had a whole bunch of them planned, but obviously technical issues put pay to that.
You're on hiatus.
I'm on indefinite hiatus.
A very long hiatus.
Michael Grade. Not as long as Doctor Who, hopefully. But yes.
Yeah.
And also the fact that I work, so I'm busy most of the week. So
Horrible.
yeah, so it'll have to be obviously the weekend or so to do reviews. But I will be coming back once I've rectified the
Date.
I'll just say I'll be back, and hopefully with a Gallifrey review. So watch this space.
Yeah, like I said, reviews aren't going to be as frequent as they were before, but I might kickstart it with a review, well, an overview of the Lost Stories Season 1. I think I might do an overview of those adventures.
Oh, the colonies. That'd be interesting.
That'll be good.
So I might do that as a sort of Kickstarter, a collection video, whatever I decide in the end.
Oh, that'll be a
Yeah, so those are sort of tying my head, but I would like to do a 4th Doctor sort of one, really. But for now, that's it. I can't say when the next video will be, but for now, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to all these lovely people, and we'll be back in the next Big Finish fan. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.